I was very happy to be here with Christophe Thoke, which is a great German producer, Levine, which has a so long CV that I cannot just start because it would take half an hour, but I'm sure she will sell this somewhere on it. And Dean English, which is another great producer, I would say with 2 foot, one in Canada and one in France, so it's an interesting profile. Both of them are great experts of the life in Cannes, which is a large subject from morning to morning, I would say. It's a 24 hours process. And so maybe, Sidney, do you want to take the floor a little bit?
Yeah, thank you. So welcome everybody, and thank you Jerome, and thank you Julie. I'm so glad to be here. I usually do give a first-timer's introduction to you all, and I use the maps and the books in this case that you all received, and we'll just pull them out, talk about what they are. I would like to know how many of you have an actual film you have produced that you're sort of shopping around here? Okay, and how many of you have projects that you're trying to set up? Okay, the vast majority. Okay, these guys will have a lot to talk to you about. Just a little note, because I thought about it, and maybe they won't mention it, is that if you see a film in the festival or in the market, look and see, and you love it, and you think it might be comparable to your kind of film, the sensibility of it matches what you're trying to do, look and see who the producers were, and then you'll find out how to find them or not. But check out those producers, because they could help you and become your lead producer or whatever. That's your stuff. My stuff is, I'm going to take things out of this bag, and I'm going to start with the map that you all have, because I'm sure that have you already gone into the Riviera? Anyone? I think if you go into the Riviera, and you go into Levine, and you go into the Palais, you'll be like lost. There's so many posters, there's so many people, you get lost. So we're gonna go on the map, and there's not just the Riviera and Levine, which is upstairs with the sales agents. There are 450 sales agents here, and they're not just there, they're up and down the Croisette. And I'm sure you've already walked up and down the Croisette, and you've seen their banners for Independent and the Works and many, many sales agents. We're going to use this as the beginning. And I'm telling you, when you go in there, I'll tell you again, you've got to be focused on who you want to see, because they make the kinds of films, or they sell the kinds of films that you want to make. So I'm going to help you to focus in on who those are beforehand. But first we'll do the map, then I'm going to talk about the trade magazines, which are your daily exercise, and hopefully throughout the year you'll be reading the trades every single day. And then we'll go on through this bag. By the way, Jerome mentioned the funds book. It's in your bag. I just pulled it out. So I'm going to open this map up, and I'm going to open it to the Cannes maps of everything. On the other side are the markets in the Riviera and Levine, but I'm going to open it this side. So we are over here right now in the Palais on the 3rd floor, and right by the ocean is the Riviera, where most of the international sales agents have their booths. And if you look along the Croisette, now I always get my directions mixed up, along the Croisette, if you look at the apartments, the Grand Hotel, then there are apartments, there's the Martinez Hotel, there are banners up and down of more international sales agents who are selling the rights to films to distributors. So there are about 450 international sales agents. Can you all hear me? There are about 450 international sales agents, and they are licensing the rights, as Jerome said, to some 4,500 either finished films or projects. They're pre-selling the rights, and they're selling them to distributors. You're going to get mixed up on terms, because you're going to think these international sales agents are distributors. They're distributing to the world. That's why I'm trying to put in your mind the word international sales agent. They're acting as agents for producers to license the rights to distributors. And the distributors are buying, but they're really just licensing the rights for a certain term of time to distribute in their territories. There are about 60 territories, and all over Cannes you see the buyers rushing to screenings. I'll show you where the screening rooms are. And rushing to the sales agents up and down the Croisette or in the Riviera here, trying to make their deals first few days. Starting today, that's when the buyers are really pushing those sales agents, and the sales agents are really pushing to sell their films. So you as a producer might find they have other business to attend to. Don't let it faze you. You just are gentle in how you approach them, and we'll talk about that a bit. And don't take anything personally. If they're very, very busy trying to make their money back to pay for this trip, you'll get to them the second half of the market where things slow down a bit. So, if we start where we are, which is in the Palais, you'll see a list on the other side of all the sales agents who are licensing rights. Now you're going to find them in the building here, the Palais, the Riviera, and Levine, and you're going to find them up and down the Croisette, which is here.
Maybe just add a small point. Maybe you may think why there is companies in the Palais and in the hotels and the apartment. Actually, the answer is double. First, it's historical because since or actually even when the new Palais, which has been built in 81, exists, many companies decided to keep apartments or suites in the hotels. And when we built 10 years ago the new development of the Palais called the Riviera, Sidney mentioned, we didn't have enough space at that time to welcome everyone. So we took the decision, which is a little bit unusual for a market, to agree that companies can be in or out, even being part of the marché. So this is why in Cannes you have that very specific organization where you have companies everywhere. So a little bit more than half of the companies are within the Riviera, the Palais, and the Les Reims, basically here. Few companies now are in the hotels, mostly Carlton and Majestic. It's about 30 companies. And another 100 companies are in the apartments. But all of them, and all the communication is done for all those companies to be part of the marché du film. And a second point, because there is a map, and also to just mention that maybe some of you already downloaded the iPhone application of Cinendo. So just a word, is everyone familiar with Cinendo? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And Cinendo, of course, we consider it's a very valuable resource. It's something we developed. Actually, we started to develop it more than 10 years ago. And at some point, we worked a lot with Sydney and partner Peter Velsito, who ran at that time a database called Film Finders, and we exchanged a lot. Cinendo is a database which is run by the Marché du Film, but all the year, in also partnership with AFM, Berlin, Filmart, Busan, and I forget some other markets. The application of Cinendo also now have a GPS application you need to find the screening rooms also in the city, so it's something you can use, and you can also get all the addresses of the sales companies in it.
Thank you. The Cinendo database is where we began our association, because I had a company called Film Finders, which had a database, and it was for buyers and sellers, and all the sellers would list everything they were buying, and all the buyers would know when it was going to screen, if the rights were available. We sold it to IMDb, it's part of IMDb Pro, but we're working together because he's the one keeping up with the rights, and when you have a film that's comparable to something else, because everyone wants to compare, this is you again, you can go on there and see who bought that film, who are the rights holders in what territories. So Peter, as he said, my partner, and I had started this Film Finders in 1988 when a database became known. When websites became a thing, that's when Jerome just started the market, and he has created this whole database for the market, the only international market database. And like something else in this book packet here, this Bible. This is a brick or a Bible. You live by it all year round. It's all on Sanando. So to me, I'm still paper-oriented. I take this, I study it, I go into Sanando, I get the details, I can make my emails, I can connect with people. But this thing, this Bible, I still go by it, and you will too. You really need it. So that's the beginning. And Peter and I have a company now. I have a brochure. We're still available to talk to producers. We'll be happy to talk to you after the market, during the market, all through the year. So you can pick up this and you can find out how to reach us. If you come here and you hit a wall, which is very possible, I used to come here as a film buyer, and it's my 26th year, and I would notice by Wednesday, halfway through that is, we would hit a wall. We'd either break down in tears from frustration, or we'd get very angry at someone without ever meaning to lose our temper. So if you need a buffer, just call on us. You can come and relax and talk about issues, whatever you want. It's a tough market, as you see with that map. There's so many places to go. There's so much to do. There's so many people. How are you going to focus on where you go? When you go into the Riviera, how do you know not to get totally sidetracked, not to get lost? And this is why I'm going to talk to you about something else. You can go through this. I went through it with a client the other day. It takes a long time, and there are buyers, sellers, producers, funds, everything is in here. What you need to know as producers is what's being sold by whom. So if you take what's called a bumper issue, the trades, this trade is Le Film Français. There's a trade called Hollywood Reporter.